Hey guys, what's going on? It's me, Paterson, and welcome back to another episode of Come Design With Me. If you're new around here, Come Design With Me is a branding and graphic design challenge that I host here on my YouTube channel every Monday. This challenge is all based around a company called Paterson, which is the sort of competitor of PayPal. It's a fictitious company, and I set you guys off with a brief, which is linked down below in the description, to come up with a logo and some brand assets for it. The way you win the $200 Amazon gift card voucher prize is by getting the most votes at the end of the series. So in every video, vote for your favorite designer based on their design, and then at the end we come together with all the people who won in the separate videos and we have a massive showdown, and the winner of that gets a $200 gift card. And if you haven't already, press that red subscribe button down below and turn on post notifications so you never miss a video like this ever that comes out every Monday. This video is brought to you by Squarespace. In the last video, we've got the votes in. We have a 60% margin for Miguel. So well done, Miguel. You outstandingly won the votes. You are into the finals. Please send in your favorite design work that you've done and your updated work for Paterson, and you will be into the finals. This first submission of today is from someone, if I can pronounce their name correctly, Nadaez. Nadaez, you've sent in your Paterson logo. Now again, I love the color and the background here for your presentation. This is very nicely and simply presented. I appreciate that. So we've got here an icon. We've got here some of the work behind the icon of how it actually came to be. And then not only that, we've got the typography here. Now, I'm going to go through this and give you some little helpful tips and tricks. The most amateur thing that I see designers doing, and I mean that in no offense, is rounding off corners that don't need to be rounded off. Now, as you can see here, we've got the P and the Z here. There's a few things wrong with this design, and I'm just going to take it out here. First of all, there's way too many anchor points in places. Now, the actual design looks pretty good and unique. It's a monogram, but I've got a few complaints about something, which is unnecessary bits like this. You see this little bit? You would never have seen that unless you've got the eye for it. But you need to get rid of that, and that's because this shape has not been joined on correctly. Well, not only that, we've also got some unnecessary anchor points here, because you can see it's going up and down. The more anchor points that you have in your illustrations or your logo designs, the less clean they're going to look. And logo designs need to have as many or as little even anchor points as possible. What I want to see happen in this is basically you taking this and this and bumping it up slightly to make it balanced, like so. I think that looks better rather than it coming like further down. I understand your point though in there. The way that this works with the letter P to the Z and an arrow for transfer equals Paterson. Now, if you look in the Milanote brief that I sent, it's all about transferring money. So you've got a good concept here. I like that, because we're trying to get some movement in this design that corresponds to transferring your money. Now, when someone sees this logo, and because it's not balanced and it kind of looks like an abstract icon, I wonder, and I'm not going to say my sort of opinion on it, but I wonder what the customers will think. Is this a professional logo? Here, what I love that you've done is you've got some nice colors. I would just stay away from using a different weight font here. I think that this kind of doesn't work very well with the Z. It looks very counter spaced, and by that I mean when you zoom out, the Z seems to be just taking over, and I think that's because, yeah, here we go, you've used Gotham Black and then Gotham Bold, which makes complete sense when we're talking from a design perspective. Like, we're told to use like Gotham Black and Gotham Bold, and you know, just skip a weight so we can have some more contrast. But what I would suggest to do is to not skip a weight in this. I don't think there's any need to skip a weight, because you're trying to get this whole word. These both mean the exact same thing in the hierarchy of meaningfulness in the logo. So I would keep them sort of the same weight. So don't skip a weight. But what I love that you've done is you've changed the color. Now, changing the color sort of separates it for the consumer in an RGB format, so on a screen or on print. Another thing that I love that you've done is that you've got the icon in with the logo. Now, I want to see some versions of this where the icon itself is smaller and not as round. The icon that you make should always fit with the logo type that you've used. By that I mean in weight, in stylization and thickness. You can see it in, for instance, the sponsor of this video is Squarespace. Their new logo is very nice, it's very geometric, but it also fits within the typography because it's the same sort of weight, it's the same stylization, and it just works really well. So you've got a rounded corner version and a sharper corner version. What you could do though, dude, is actually round some of them off. It's not a bad thing to round some of the corners off. I know you're trying to keep it, you know, as clean as possible, but not always having to round things off or keeping them sharp is a bad idea. I love your colors, I love your typeface, the app icon here. Make sure you center this correctly. Don't use mathematics or the align function all the time to center your work. Use your brain, use your eyes, because sometimes the align function lies to you. So Nadaez, well done. Thank you for your submission, guys. If you like this one, go and vote for him in the corner up here. This next one is from Nick Gilby, and I'm excited to see his. It's very simple, but you can tell he spent a long time on it. So here we have the logo. Now, the first thing I want to say, Nick, is you need to take some of the detail away. When I zoom out, that logo looks messy because you've got so many little pixels in there. I understand your concept with the movement and having these little micro things coming in and out of it. I like it, but it needs to work when it's small, especially because an app icon looks about this size to me. I need it to work when it's small. So what you could do is simplify it down. So instead of being literal, you could be more abstract with the idea of these bits coming out. I like your typeface. Again, a lot of people seem to be using Gotham Black as well, which is very cool, or Gotham Ultra Italic. I like it as well. Your app icon looks very good. We want to make sure it does not look like a taxi company, so I would work a bit more on your app as well. The way that I sort of like critique these and show you guys them is if it works for the company. If a payment company is going to look like something else, like a race car company or a taxi company, it's not going to work for the company that they are getting branded. It looks great on your Apple Watch. I like it a lot. I would suggest to stay away from the red. You don't need red in there. Red does not speak zeal to me. It probably like an orange would speak zeal to me, you know, excitement and brightness, and you know, yellow as well, like electric yellow, things like that. I would suggest, Nick, to go back to the drawing board of this. You've done a good job, but I think that some of the spacing issues, or not the spacing issues even, the actual, these things, the dots and the squares coming off of the P is a great concept, but I think it needs to be simplified. No, I know it needs to be simplified way down. So challenge yourself in doing that, and please resubmit your work. This next submission for Payzeal is from Mike Dwayne, and I am presented here with a really nice presentation of the logo. This is something that I really like from the colors. You've used teal and blue, which is very nice with gradients. Now, if you were to present a logo like this to your clients, I think they would like it. Just maybe a few more mock-ups. So let's have a look at the main logo. So first of all, the Payzeal logo, I like the actual design here. You've got like a very square, spacious logo. What I want to see though, really, is I want to see it kind of move in a little bit. I might be completely wrong here, but I want to see it move in and move down. So I want it to fit in the same parameters as the type. Now, one thing that you've done extraordinarily well here is something that I talked about previously in the video, which is keeping the icon and the typography in line with each other. Now, the only issue I have with this is that even though you've kept the styling the same, this style does not work for a payment company because it looks way too modern. It looks more like a video game app. Although I love the typography in here and how modern it is and sleek and everything else, because of the weird ligatures and the weird crossbars on the A and the E, because it's accentuated on the crossbar there, it's very hard to read when it's small. People won't be able to see it from miles away. But the great thing about this logo on the other side of that is it's one, very unique. Even though it's not readable, you've got a very memorable icon here, which looks amazing. It's very balanced. I like it a lot. And also the color scheme that you've got as well. So Mike's got a concept tile here, and he says the logo type was meant to be as legible and inviting as possible while still carrying some meaning. The type is smooth and simple, just like Payzeal, while the A has just a little bit of offset to make the logo type identifiable and add a sense of motion. The design is meant to be as simple and identifiable as possible. It uses the Z or the Z at a screwed with small half arrows on each end to represent the movement of the font in a clean, subtle way. So this is the brand system here. You've gone all out, dude. Well done, Mike. This is insane. You've got visual language. Now this is something that I love here. This is what you've done that is different to everyone else. I think, I can't say that definitely, but it's very different, which is that the visual language that you've got going on here with the send, the request, the back and next, you've got the icon and made them into other icons. So you've taken the family and the stylization of the logo and made them into other icons. This works really well with brands, and we know this because it's been tested out in many apps, and I really like this sort of thing. It means that everything that you do from requesting money and sending money has its own little icon in it, which is very clever. The only thing that I would suggest is that it might not be understandable at first, but this might be where brand awareness comes in. You've used Acumen Pro, which is very nice, and I like it a lot. You've got a conclusion, some of the other things here. Your Paziel icon in the phone works beautifully as well. You've got a nice app here for what it could be. Very minimalist and very easy to type on, I can see. And here is the app as well. You've got my name in there, spelt a bit wrong, but thank you for the $200. And Wilma P. Wilma. Dude, this app mock-up looks amazing. You've done a great job with it. It feels very inviting and it holds the brand as well, which I like. Just going to read a little bit at the end. Working on this project has been a great and exciting challenge, and I'm grateful for the chance to challenge myself in a way I haven't done before. Design is something I've always had a passion in but struggled to make time for, so this contest has been an amazing thing to help give me the drive to get back into it, and I look forward to your feedback and a chance to hopefully do more contests for your channel in the future. Dude, I like your work. It looks really clean and minimal. Very nice, dude. Guys, if you like this one, vote. The last submission of today is from Henry Luna, and I like your bold aesthetic here. I can see it straight away. So how we go here? We've got the sketch process. So you started off in paper, which is something that I always suggest people do, even for icons and typographic logos. You've got Paziel here. Paziel works really well in the nice massive Z. It's very, very, very minimal, but bold, which is what I like. And it's very targeting as well towards the young adults community. We've got the P and the Z, so we've got the P here and the Z there, creating this. Now, if there's ever an example of like an icon process, this is it. This is a very cool abstract icon process that still is readable as a Z. And here is the final logo. So the one thing that I love about this is your typeface choice matches with this in family style. The next thing is I love the color that you've used for this as well. This nice, is it violet? I don't know. It's like a nice purple violet color. And this logo, man, you could scale that down to eternity and still see it, and it will work anyway. It's super simple concept. It's one of those logos that, you know, the simpler the better, and you've done it really well. Here we've got the Paziel app icon, you can see there, out and Skillshare getting in there. The one thing that I would suggest is to work on your app here. If you're going to do a mock-up, I would not just do your own. I think I would just use someone else's mock-up and put your branding on it to sell to a client. But I like your logo. Here's the font if anyone wants to know, and the hex codes for anyone for the colors and the gradients. It looks really nice. Gracias, Will, no problem. Henry, your design here is amazing. I think you've done a great job in this. It's one of my favorites so far. Keep up the great work. I just want to thank Squarespace for sponsoring this video. If you're a creator that's on the internet that wants to make a blog, sell resources, gain client traction, and have a beautiful website, then Squarespace is the place for you. I've been on Squarespace for over, I think, 3 years now, if I can count correctly. And my website has been literally ran by Squarespace all this time. I love it because it's very inexpensive, but you've got thousands of beautiful themes that you can choose from. Squarespace is also very reliable in itself. I use it personally to sell my products, to gain client traction, and to have a blog on there, my own little corner of the internet where people can always find out a bit more about me and my work. You can also have your online portfolio on there to drive traffic to that, so people will see your work and hire you. The possibilities are literally endless, but you don't have to be a wizard to know how to design a beautiful website on Squarespace, because of the hundreds and I think thousands of templates that you can use on that website that you can edit as well, will help you make an amazingly beautiful website. If you want to help support the channel, click the link down below to get the 10% discount as well as the 30-day free trial of Squarespace. Guys, click that link and I'll catch you in the next video. See you soon. Goodbye.